3.8 million. That's how many babies were born in the United States last year. But that's a 2% decrease, and it's the lowest number since 1986. According to data released by the CDC Wednesday, 2018 was the fourth year in a row the overall birth rate has declined. It was down for teenagers and women in their 20s and early 30s, but up slightly for women in their late 30s and 40s. So we wanted to dig into it a little bit. Let's bring back our A-plus panel, Afia Yunus, immigration attorney and editor of the Save Jersey blog, Matt Rooney. Afia, does this potentially have something to do with faith-based families?
Perhaps faith has something to do with it, but it's interesting because race also has something to do with it. You see a decline greater in white women than in non-white women. And I think it also has something to do with the lack of structure in society for moms. Again, this goes back to no paid maternity leave. This goes back to women having to forced to be made a decision between having kids and having a career. It's very difficult to have both. What
the numbers say is, though, abortions are at an all-time low, so that's not the issue. Fertility among couples actually said to be at a rising and all-time high, so it's not that. Seems to be choice-based.
It's just not a priority anymore to form relationships that are focused on creating a generation, creating a family. It's not a priority. I think there's a faith-based element in there. I don't agree with Afia that I think it's anything the government is doing. I don't think just handing people more money is going to solve the problem.
Well, it will
I think
provide
it's something
support.
That's happening in
it would
the culture.
provide more support for young couples who want to have kids.
But some of these young couples,
you're seeing more women having babies later in life. And why do you think that is?
That to me seems to be an absolute choice about, I want to have a career first and I'll have my kids later. And of course, kids, when you start to get into your mid-late 30s, early 40s, become somewhat problematic for the pregnant mom.
We can't assume that choices are operating in a vacuum. They're informed by one's economic situation, they're informed by one's educational aspirations, so they're informed by a multitude of factors.
Is it necessarily good or bad? I feel like this is just a step.
I think that there could be some real bad implications here, Bill, and one of them, and I think it's quite obvious, is that if you're not worried about having children, if that's not something that's part of your life plan, you're going to vote differently. You're much more concerned with the here and now, and that just not only shapes how you feel about the president, but also the issues that are at play in the public discussion.
I think it's important about the future of this country, and 20, 30 years from now, we're going to have a majority-minority country, even more so. The more rapidly non-white women are having kids and white women are not having kids, it's going to change the demographic of our country.
Interesting. All right. Thanks, guys.